Today, I want to talk about one of the cornerstones of the Design Your Life program, the 12-week program that I'm putting together for you to follow online. And one of the cornerstones of that is about living consciously. So today, I want to chat about living consciously.
Yeah, the Building Better Humans Project podcast. Welcome. Be motivated and be inspired. Let's go.
Hey team, Glenn Azar here. Welcome you back to the Building Better Humans Project podcast. So I've been spending the last few weeks, and I suspect the next week or two, working quite heavily on building out all the final pieces to the 12-week Design Your Life program. So this is a chance to give you everything that I give when I'm coaching clients, but also a lot of the information that's already in the 658 episodes of this podcast, but in a more structured way. So be able to follow it through, do each piece to that program week to week. Don't get ahead of yourself. Wait till the next week to then do that piece so that you're actually building the foundational blocks of personal development, of what we call the solid human foundation. And a large part of what I'm doing around that is about living consciously. And I talk to people about this all the time. Living consciously, for me, is simply about self-awareness. It's about understanding who you are, understanding what drives you, understanding what you do well and what you don't do well, knowing what you want to change, not beating yourself up, but being self-aware enough to say, hey, that was me, I own that piece, I need to do something different in this situation. So it's literally about knowing your piece in every situation that you go through. And when you know your piece in every situation, again, not in a way that you beat yourself up, but just in a way to say, hey, that wouldn't have happened if I hadn't have done X. So it's not always about the other person. They did this to me and they caused this and they made me feel that way, which is not true. None of that can be true, because if it's true, if you believe that to be true, you have zero power to change anything. And the idea behind the program is that we have all the power to change things. So we want to live consciously. Now, the other side of that is people just float through life. They let life do to them whatever it decides, whatever other people's agendas are, and they're just kind of pushed around by luck, by, again, other people's agendas, by whatever the case may be. They're not taking ownership of their own space in the world, their own behaviours, what's got them into the situation that they're currently in and what could potentially get them out of that situation. So again, to me, that's not living consciously. So a large part of this program is going to be about driving you to live consciously, to take control. The first 4 or 5 weeks is going to be all about building that self-assessment, self-awareness piece so that you understand who you are. The second middle sort of section of that 12 weeks will be based around what is it that you want from life? Like, what are the changes that you would like to make? And again, it's about you owning that piece and not relying on other people not to do a thing in order for you to feel a thing or achieve a thing, etc. And then we'll tie that off at the back end, and it's about what the actions are that we need to take in order to have that. And again, if you follow this 12-week program in the order that I give you the 12-week program, and you do all the pieces of work and you don't look for shortcuts, it's going to make a massive difference to what you achieve. You've got to be able to let go of excuses. You've got to stop defending the actions or inactions or the mindset that have got you to a certain point. And you've got to be willing to own the fact that maybe, just maybe, it's me that needs to change. If you can do that, you're living consciously, and we're going to make some massive, massive changes.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Building Better Humans podcast with your host, Glenn Azar. For feedback, to stay up to date, or go back and find an old episode, head over to 180.net.au. Yeah, the Building Better Humans Project podcast. Let's go.